Question time for everybody in the audience. Who thinks they traveled the farthest to get here? Why isn't anyone raising their hands?
You win.
All right, who thinks besides me traveled the farthest to get here? How far? New Zealand? Is that far? I have no idea.
That's like basically the next.
Someone can be like Canada, and I'll be like, I don't know where Canada is. Where do you come from?
The other side of the continent.
The other side of the continent. Is Australia a continent?
Yes.
And a country?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you guys get both? We have to share North America with, like, again, Canada.
Maybe if he were so confident, he'd probably take over Canada and he can go.
Oh, yeah, maybe we didn't try hard enough. Well, welcome in, everybody. This is the Bronies React panel! So, this is a panel that has been going on for years now. Obviously, never here before in Australia, but is there anybody here, before we kick this off, who has never seen or has no idea what Bronies React is? Don't be shy. You can raise those hands up. All right. As far as explanation goes, yeah, put that hand up. So Bronies React is a series on YouTube that I started way back in the day of the early stages of the fandom, where it just got a group of bronies together, a couple of people that I guess you could call would be recognizable to the fandom, and we reacted to something called Teens React to. No, you put your finger up.
No, I'm just.
Oh,
the teens react to My Little Pony.
Friendship is Magic.
And so it was a react to a react.
It was a parody. Essentially, there's a series by the Fine Brothers called Teens React, and they decided to have teens react to the idea of the Brony fandom. And it was less than flattering. And so we thought, hey, it'd be funny to maybe like throw a counter at it, just as a joke, a parody, something to kind of laugh at ourselves with. And it was way more successful than I ever thought it would be. So then we decided to turn it into a series, and I've worked with a whole bunch of people, not just fandom-wise, but also on the show. And it has been an honor to be putting the Bronies Reacts together. It's an honor for me to be here in Australia with all of you here, so thank yourselves for coming on out to AliCon 2019. It does mean a lot to me. Just the fact I never would have guessed when I got into the show that someday I would be traveling to Australia. I mean, this is bonkers to me, and the fact that people are like, "Oh yeah, ACRacebest." It's like people in Australia know me.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It was like me with like on the flip side going to America. Like people recognize me there. It's like, but now you get that experience.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. So I'm ACRacebest, again, hello. With me
is Viva Reverie.
Viva Reverie, the most talented brony in Australia, at least as of today.
Thank you.
That was so cool. So yeah, and for those that missed it, hopefully nobody did, you just tap dance, and I'm like, you can tap dance?
Yes, it's like one of I've done many things for the fandom. One thing that I never touched was my tap dancing, just because it never came up. Like I also do hip hop, which is that's like that'll be another talent check.
That's another time.
Yeah. The good news is that if you missed it, I'll be doing it again at closing ceremony.
Yep.
So that'll be.
I'll actually be able to get some like cinematic shots.
Oh yeah, you had to sit down.
I did. And Viva, you've been in, when was your first episode? Do you know?
My first episode of Bronies React, I believe it was like, when was Starlight Glimmer introduced?
Season 5.
Season 5.
Thank you to the Bronies out there.
Yeah, I want to say it was like the Season 5 trailer. There might have been one before that, but otherwise, like, there was like a special episode where we reacted to a trailer as opposed to like a full episode.
Right.
I want to say if it wasn't that one, then it would have been right before it.
Again, that's what Bronies React is. We get a bunch of bronies together and we'll react to sometimes fandom-related stuff or episodes, usually key episodes like premieres or finales. The next one that we probably have on our docket is the finale of Generation 4. And so we'll see how that all goes together. But that's not, like, there's no plan to end it after that. I think there's still a lot of fun we can have with not only past episodes that we haven't touched, but there is a new generation coming. So who's planning on hanging around for Generation 5? I want to see it. I want to see all the hands go up here. Even your hand, you can put it. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, Generation 5. We'll see what happens. The thing I tell everybody is, if it's good, that's great. If it's bad, that might be better.
Yeah, it'll be better for us.
So the biggest thing that we like to do with Bronies Rack panels are Q&A sessions. You can ask us, either of us, questions in regards to anything.
It doesn't have to be about Bronies Rack.
It doesn't have to be about Bronies Rack. If you have a specific Bronies Rack question, that's fine. But again, you can ask us random questions. Whatever you want to do, we'll do it. Or, well, let me read. Careful what I say there, right? Oh yeah, look at that. Of course, Faulty's I'm interrupting his lunch right now. But Faulty on the scene. Again, folks, I can't say this enough. Can we give a round of applause to all the staff here at AliCon?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How do you like Australia so far? Not Viva, obviously.
Not Viva, no. Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Australia has been crazy. Like, it's weird because I got here Thursday morning, and I'm leaving tomorrow morning, mostly because of my work schedule. I can't just take a lot of time off with all the other conventions that I work at. I had some goals in mind. I wanted to see Australian animals. I wanted to see the beach, and I got to do both. So that was really cool. And we'll form a line here. Don't be shy, anybody. Like I said, and I'll make sure I get to you as well. In fact, I'll probably have you be the first question. We'll get to you in a second here. But yeah, Australian has been so cool. You all have been like so welcoming, by the way. Like, thank you so much for welcoming me, some lowly American, into your country and being like, oh, we'll accept him for a few days. Sure, why not? So we'll start with you with the question.
What was your favorite animal?
That I met? My favorite animal? Oh my gosh. So I saw, and tell me if I'm wrong, because like I might have been calling them like wrong names, but obviously I saw a kangaroo, lots of kangaroos. Saw emus. Emu.
They're not emu. They're
Mackers. A Mackers run.
Well, that's not an animal, but yes, that is another thing I was pronouncing. Mackers. No, it's Mackers. McDonald's is Mackers, not Mackers. Mackers.
So
the Americans do that with everything. You put R's at the end of it.
Especially the southern ones, they add extra R's. Like they're like, yeah, my woman back at home, you know.
They spell things that way.
They sure do. Yeah. Gosh, favorite animal. Let's see. I think the bandicoots, like those actually exist. I thought that was something from a video game. And I'm like, it's not as orange as I expected. What else did I see? There were things that I couldn't even name, but everything. I honestly feel like every animal that existed here in Australia at some point mated with a rabbit, and that's where they all like. Kangaroos are like dog rabbits. Like when I got to pet a kangaroo, and I'm going to say a kangaroo was my favorite animal that I got to make, because I not only got to feed them and they didn't bite my hand off, I was very thankful for that, but also that, again, it was like raining, and so like, the kangaroos were wet while I'm petting them, and I'm like, you straight up smell like a wet dog. Like, and I like dogs, so awesome. So yes, kangaroos, I'm gonna say were my favorite.
During the season 6 finale reaction, did you genuinely have an advert for the second part of it come while you were watching it, or was that just part of the reaction when you realized it later on?
I'm pretty sure.
So, okay, so run this by me again. So the season 6 finale, is that what we asked about?
Season 6 finale.
Season 6 finale was the one where...
Discord, Trixie, Thorax, and Starlight go to the...
Thank you. There's been a couple finales that we've done.
That was the one where I fell off the bed. I'm sorry.
I will never forget watching you do that. I watched that like 18 times.
I brought that up like the past 3 Bronies React panels because it's the only interesting thing I've done.
I love it. So your question is in regards to what was the finale?
Did that advert actually happen while you were watching finale your first time, or did you decide to do that with the copy you had because you realized, looking back on it, oh, they played an advert for part 2.
Oh, I got what you're saying because they spoiled. So I watch all of my, whenever I do the reacts, like everyone does them kind of differently.
Yeah, you do it blind.
I do my reacts blind. And the thing is that with blind reactions, it means that I'm sitting there for 3 hours pausing the episode. My wife loves it. She just loves just sitting there going like, why does it take this long to get through? So there was an advertisement for the next, so they had the premiere playing, the finale playing, and as it was happening, they had a commercial that like popped up, like it was either right after like going into a commercial break or coming out of one, where they were like, oh, don't miss the second part where this happens. And I'm like, but we haven't even gotten to that. I don't even think like a character that we knew would even be in there was supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I was upset. I hate spoilers. Especially when I'm in the middle of a blind reaction. By the way, just so you know, this is coming up. Why? I'm already watching it. You don't need to advertise it to me. So yeah, that was legit. That was a first time thing that happened. I accidentally landed on it because usually I'm fast forwarding through the commercials and I hit play. And then Sarah's like, no, go close your eyes. It was like too late. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a bummer.
Okay.
So I let Hasbro, I gave Hasbro a piece of my mind on that one. I said, don't do that, Hasbro. How dare you? Hello.
What's your opinion on drop bears?
Drop bears. Have you seen a drop bear?
What the heck's a drop bear? It sounds like, is like that one of the musicians that played last night?
No.
Drop the bear.
It is a ravenous Australian animal that falls on your face and rips it to shreds.
So, like the things in Alien? Like similar to that?
Kind of.
Yeah?
Sure.
Why did I agree to come to this godforsaken country? My God.
It was a trap.
This is a real thing? Drop bear?
Yeah.
So what was your question about drop bears?
What's your opinion on them?
They sound terrifying. Nobody told me about this before I came out here, now I know why. Where do they, like they in the rafters right now? It wasn't raining earlier, they were all climbing on the ceiling, that's what the noise we heard. That's ridiculous. Drop bears, what do they look like?
They look like...
They're koalas.
They're koalas. They're koalas. It is
No.
This is my favorite national joke that everybody in Australia plays along with. That koalas are actually evil.
But see, now I don't know whether to trust them or not. See, you need to understand. So when I went out to this Cleveland reserve. Anyone been to the Cleveland Nature Reserve? Okay, cool. Really cool, by the way. If you haven't been there, check it out because that's where I got my opportunity to pet a kangaroo. But I will say this: is that when we walked in, I know we're dealing with wild animals and whatnot, and as I'm getting my ticket, I was with Travis or Odyssey Eurobeat. We're both Americans, both from the West Coast of the United States, both experiencing these animals for the first time, and the guy goes, "Oh yeah, they're nice. Why don't you pet them?" And I'm like, as we're walking away, I'm like, I don't know if that's an Australian joke. Obviously don't touch the kangaroos. Everyone knows that. Or if, I'm like, I can't tell if it was legit. So we're sitting here walking up to these animals like this. There's kangaroos by the tree, and we're like, I'm like, I don't know. And of course, I'm like, Travis, you do it first. You go. Try, it should be fine. And then, of course, what happens? We weren't told anything. There goes my tag. We weren't told anything in regards to what not to do when kangaroos do certain things or whatever. But our instincts were working that day because one of the kangaroos all of a sudden. Ears go back. And we're like, this doesn't look good. We should back away. Well, then it wasn't until 10 minutes later where we came up to another fence, where then it's how to approach kangaroos. By the way, don't do this if they do that. And they're like, well, we were right, but why didn't they tell us before this point?
It's not-
Man, I was, yeah. And then when I finally pet that first kangaroo, then I'm like, okay, maybe they weren't joking. And then they were like, hey, after this, you can go pet the great white shark that's in the pool tank. I'm like, perfect, let's go do it. So thank you for letting me know about drop bears. Yes. The most dangerous animal in Australia. Hello.
This is a question. With the final reaction with Generation 4 and Bronies React, which would be obviously the Season 9 finale, would that be done entirely blind? Or are some of you still going to react to it non-blind?
I was just going to say that, yeah, different reactors react to things different way. Race specifically does things exclusively blind. I hadn't for a long time, except for like the more recent view. I'm probably going to do Season 9's finale blind. It's definitely different between different people. Different people have like their own like plans to like. Okay, so I'll watch it beforehand, and then wait a bit, and then watch it again, and I have like a few planned jokes that I'm gonna do. That's what I used to do, and I still do every now and then have like something like, oh, I'll come back to this later, and it'll be funny. But I think the biggest example of like a planned joke was I went to a beach and filmed myself like against the horizon, being like, what did I say? Starlight.
Starlight became a crazy evil dictator because her friend
Became a crazy evil dictator because of a butt tattoo or something. And I knew I was going to make that joke, but I hadn't recorded the react yet. So I recorded that, and my sister held the camera, and I'm just like, I'll hold the camera, this will make sense later. And I...
No, it didn't.
Afterward, I don't live near the beach, so this was like a special occasion, which is why I'm like, I need to film this now. And then later, I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna do the Bronies React. Where am I gonna like put this? I'm gonna put it here, and I will do this when I'm in my room, and blah, 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 blah. So, anyway, to answer your question, it'll be different for different people, but I'm going to do it blind, and I presume you will.
Oh yeah, definitely, going to do it blind.
More fun.
For me, it's kind of like the improv stuff. Like who was at Who's Line yesterday? Like yeah, so with Who's Line, like it sounds ridiculous because I'll just explain it. So for me, I really want it to be legitimate improv. So when I had to print everything out, like since I had no one else here to do it, and because of how like compact the schedule's been, because we had BronyCon a few weeks ago, I really wanted to, I wanted to make sure that I didn't know anything in advance, but I had to print everything out. So I'm like printing it out like this, like, and then I had to cut up the seams from a hat, so I'm like flipping the pages upside down and holding it up to the light. I'm not joking, by the way. I'm doing this in the lobby of my hotel too, so everyone's like, what's he doing? He can make this a lot easier. And I'm like cutting the stuff up, all right, cool, throw it in. So I didn't know what was coming. And again, because for me, for like that kind of improv type show, I'm like, I don't want to know anything for as long as I possibly can, which is typically, like it was yesterday and for most shows, when I get on stage, or I should say for every show when I get on stage. Same thing in regards to, doing the reacts, is that I feel like, I used to have some where I actually had to watch the episode before I was able to do a react, and that was usually when an episode would air at a convention. There was one where actually for episode 100, we were at a convention for it, and M.A. Larson was there as well, and we did a deconstruction panel with Larson right after it aired. So right after it aired, then we were able to ask him questions about his process of putting it together. It was very interesting, by the way, and it is up on YouTube if you want to check it out. But for that, like I had to, like I couldn't like not watch it and then ask Larson, so like, let's talk about Derpy, Larson. Let's talk about this character. Let's talk about this. So in that case, I did have to watch it. But yeah, a lot of people, like you said, will do things differently. Yeah. However their style is. Some people will watch it and write out jokes, so then they can go through and redo those jokes. Like you mentioned, every now and then there's people who will maybe watch it blind. A lot of people actually on the series it was more of a like a 50-50 between those who watched it blind and those who didn't watch it blind. And I feel like as time's gone, more of the people who didn't watch it blind now do. Like I know Gabe's the same way. Where he didn't used to watch it blind, but now, again, I get 4 hours of footage from Black Griffin, and the whole time he's like talking to me. It's weird. Like we have conversations with our footage. Like he'll be like, "Oh, Race, look at this thing I found on the street the other day," and I'm like, "Oh wow, Gabe, that's really cool." And he's like, "Yeah, right," and I'm like. That was weird. So yeah, so I know for me and probably a good chunk of the reactors it'll be a blind reaction, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to be again avoiding spoilers so bad. So yeah.
Not the end of the fandom though.
What's that?
Not the end of the.
It's not the end of the fandom. No way, guys. Understand this. The first fandom I was ever a part of was the Chippendale Rescue Ranger fandom. That's a show that ran for 2.5 seasons, like back when Disney was like, we only make 65 episodes worth. We got a couple more episodes than that in My Little Pony. And the thing is that I got into that fandom in like high school, so it was like 2006. That's actually where I also met my wife, by the way. Yeah. And I mean, that show ended in the early 90s. There's still people, there's still a fandom for it. So if anyone's like, oh, the fandom's just gonna go away, and when the last episode airs and everyone's just like, don't worry, like the fandom's around. And again, and I tell everybody this, is that the fandom, it's one of those like, I guess like self-reviving machines, or not reviving, but like we as a fandom keep the fandom alive. So
I think other good examples are like Star Trek. Like, I mean, Star Trek has come back with like new things, but like it like garnered its fandom with like the old Picard and Kirk stuff. And then you have Harry Potter, who finished its 7th book like ages ago. It went through all its movies, and then like okay, so that's the end of Harry Potter, and then it got like more stuff afterwards, like. I can't name examples because I don't actually watch Harry Potter. But the point is that when Generation 4 ends, like it's a money-making machine. I would be extremely surprised if Hasbro and the company went and didn't like go and make more like so. Like Generation 5 is like a lockdown. We're gonna get that. Whether it's going to be good or not is the question, as was brought up. It could be bad, which might be fun anyway.
yeah, but I also wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if we still get Gen 4 specials.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we already got like kind of a couple. There was like that Christmas one that I haven't watched yet.
I haven't either, actually, because I figured we were going to do a Bronies react.
Actually.
That's one reason I missed so many of the Equestria Girl specials. I'm like, well, we might do a react to it, so it ends up like getting dust over in the corner. But thank you for your question, by the way.
Hello.
Hi. What are your opinions on Starlight and Sunset? Because you know heaps of the other reactors have like beef with those characters, but what are your like honest opinions from you two?
I really like Sunset's design. I think Starlight's design is only fine. Therefore, because Starlight has so much more prominence, I wish she had Sunset's design, which is a weird thing, but it's like Sunset is like movie character, and like I like her pony design, and then she's locked away in the human realm forever with a subpar design, which you might like the human designs. I don't know. But the point is that if we're talking like personality-wise, I haven't watched a lot of the Equestria Girl stuff besides the movies, so but out of the movies, I think Sunset is. I almost mixed up the names in my head because they're like so similar.
Starset, Sun, Glimmer.
Starlight, Sun, Twilight, Spark, Glimmer.
Derpy.
No, you mean sleeping dinner?
Starlight. I will say one thing. Starlight is a character that started off like kind of okay. So she was a villain and she was fun as a villain. And then she got reformed and she was kind of whatever reformed. And then she flipped back over to being good again. That's definitely. If I recall, you had like somewhat of a similar opinion.
I really liked Starlight as a villain. I hated a reformed Starlight. I'm like, no. Like I was like, oh my gosh, she's like so sassy and wonderful and evil, and I was like so happy with her as a villain.
That's your honest opinion?
That was my opinion at the time.
What's your opinion now?
Well, that's the thing, is that with Starlight, like she was probably like became my least favorite character, and people can see that in the reacts. I was not a fan of Starlight, and oh my goodness, has that changed? As like Starlight has grown on me like no other character has, to the point where like I would say like she's like my second favorite character of the show at this point. Like Starlight Glimmer, I love her dynamic now. I love what they do with her character. And I love her. Starlight Glimmer's awesome. So yeah, as far as between the two, I'd say Starlight, because you can tell Saberspark that Sunset Shimmer is in. Yeah, he loves Sunset Shimmer. I'm like, that's barely even a pony.
Yeah, no. Technically, she's the only pony in Equestrian now, so...
Oh, good point. Yeah. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hello.
As far as editing is concerned, what was the most complicated Bronies reactor put together?
Ooh. You have one that...
The first one that comes to mind is when I set up a green screen, I was obligated to make many green screen jokes. I did that for a couple of the recent ones. The first one I did it for was the MLP movie. The good news is that I kind of learned how to do green screen stuff beforehand, so I was like, okay, I just need to make sure when I do key things, I make sure, like, okay, here's the thing about green screen, hair, especially long, wavy, flippy, flowy hair, is terrible for green screen, and it is impossible to mask out properly, so I like kind of, this is good enough. And like left with, if you comb through any like green screened out stuff, that I did, 99% of the time it would like eat into my hair and I'd lose it. Don't think about it too hard. Don't look for it. Don't look for it. It's fine. So there was the thing about editing though is that like it over time it got easier and easier and easier. So by the time we got up to the MLP movie, it's like, okay, so this is technically difficult, but I know what I'm doing. So it sort of came out pretty smoothly. It was very long. That's one thing about the MLP movie. Easily the longest thing we've reacted to. So that plus the green screen specialness probably made it the most difficult.
There was a period of time where we had 3 Bronies reacts happening at the same time. And the reason for it, I believe, was because we were working on a Halloween special. The season premiere had come out, and I think that was also around the time where the Cutie Mark Crusaders got their cutie marks. And we're like, oh my gosh. I was getting like buried on all this stuff. And all the reactors were great during all that time as far as getting me footage, but then it was a matter of juggling. Like, okay, what am I working on now? And it pushed stuff back, and I'm like, oh no, I'm delaying this react, but I have to because there's only so much me to go around as far as editing. And for those that don't know, I work a regular 9-to-5 job as an engineer back at home, so it's not like I'm sitting at home just with, okay, let's edit all day. I go to work, I get home, that's when I edit. I have to juggle a lot with that time. And so yeah, that was not so much on a technical point, but definitely the hardest period of working on the reacts for me was having to juggle all those reacts at the same time. Technically, I've had reacts where I'd like to do a lot of masking or editing in. So for those ones, it's like, oh, but I do it to myself. but that was the hardest period of Bronies reacts.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. I saw your hand back up, so what's your question? How do we avoid spoilers? Oh, so the best thing I've noticed is to try to avoid Twitter, depending on who you follow on Twitter. Dusty Cat.
My issue with spoilers is that I'm just for the entirety of season 8, I'm like, I'm gonna put it off until all of it is out and then binge the whole thing. And likewise, because I didn't avoid Twitter, I found out about Kieran's and like everything about them before I watched their episode, and I'm like, oh, that would have been cool to avoid. There was like a lot of season 8 stuff that like I did. So to answer your question, I didn't avoid spoilers, and I, on the one hand, partially regret it. On the other hand, it meant that when I was going through the episodes, I'm like, oh, this is the Kieran episode, let's enjoy it, and then it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard, but it's all about like knowing where not to go. Like I avoid a lot of like Brony websites and stuff too. Oh, well, thanks for the heads up. No more YouTube, guys. Sorry. No more videos coming out. But thanks for the heads up. Yeah, I hate the way they isn't like China getting like releases.
Yeah, it's like
come on.
It's like over in.
And I love how like Hasbro is like, oh well.
Oh, it's not like this is the most important season we'll probably have of Generation 4, and like apparently China's getting episodes 10 episodes in advance, and the only way to watch it and not get spoiled is to have to deal with subtitles.
Thus is the life of a Brony reactor. Hello.
Well, yeah, that was pretty much my question. Lately, with the seasons, they've been airing so early in other countries and stuff, and how have you been dealing with that? Like, are you watching the episodes when they come out in the US? Or, I know, I guess some people who don't watch Blind might watch the leaks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how's that going?
Do you have an answer? And keep talking till I can.
Okay, so one of the issues with living in Australia, as a lot of people here know, is we can't just turn on the TV and have My Little Pony playing. That is something that Americans very much can do. It's just like, okay, so a new episode is at like 10 a.m. or whatever. One of the things we totally can do is go on to one of the many live streams people do, and they're like, okay, so let's watch the show as it's being premiered in America at like 2 a.m. So that's fun. That's something I used to do for a while. I haven't done it for a long time. As I mentioned, I'm putting off a season and binging the whole thing when it's all done. So likewise, I sometimes go the sneaky route if I have to do a react. I was very lucky where the one time I didn't was the season 8 finale. It was just on Netflix, and I had Netflix. I'm like, okay, Netflix, finally, a legal way to do a react. Oh, also the movie. I bought the DVD for the movie, as I made a joke about in the episode.
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony. For anybody who didn't see that episode, Australia got a misprint of the My Little Pony movie. On the side it said My Little Pony, one T. Yeah, apparently it's called. I accidentally picked it up. I'm like, okay, I gotta pick up the movie eventually, and I picked it up, and then I found out about the typo, and then I looked on Twitter, and I'm like, wait a minute. I grabbed my copy, and oh my god, it had the typo.
People ask me if that was real, and I'm like, I don't know.
It was. It was.
Unbelievable. I try not to. I try to wait for the U.S. release when it actually shows up on my, or in the release schedule. I think there's been one episode in the past that I had. There was a friend of mine contacted me and went, I'm not going to tell you what's happening, but you should watch this now, as soon as you can. And I can't remember. I think that was one that may have gotten. I was able to access it before it aired, but I believe that was the pear butter episode. And they were like, I'm telling you now, you're going to get spoilers if you don't watch this ASAP. So, so I do have people look out for me. I enjoy it when somebody says, oh, make sure you see the episode, versus somebody saying, hurry up and watch this because blank happens. And you're like, thanks. Thank you so
fair warning, in China, I think we're a week out from the finale airing.
All right, everybody bunker down. We're going underground.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question. All right. Hello.
Hello.
What is your question?
Now, I know you're going to do the finale. I know you're going to do other episodes after you've done the full finale.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any guidelines that you're thinking of you're going to do, or are you going to skip a lot of them unless they're really important parts of the series?
Right now, I don't even have plans on what exactly we're going to do. I figure we're going to hit up premieres and finales for sure. But like, you know, just kind of gauging it, reading the room, so to speak, seeing where things are going will kind of drive what episodes we hit up. Like at that point, it'll be easier for people to say, oh, you should react to this episode, and it's like, okay, well now we have time to do it. Because that's the thing I've always been up against. There's been episodes that have come out that I'm like, I would have liked to do that. Like the cheese sandwich episode I was mentioned as an episode that I would have liked to have done a react to, but I think that was also around the time where I was working on 3 at once, and I'm like, no, I can't do anymore. I can't add anymore. Again, it's just timing. And with the generation coming to an end, it's going to give us more time to be able to, you know, give some love to some stuff that we may have missed in the past.
I think one of the cool things we could do is go back to like the really early episodes and rewatch them for the first time.
That, I mean, I've been avoiding them to like rewatch.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, thank you.
All right.
All right. And then I have all I know, and I don't know when exactly we want to do it, but I know that Typhoon, one of the great runners of this convention, mentioned that I need to, I don't know, they had something that was packaged in the back in some kind of food item or something that Ty wanted me to try at some point. I don't know if we even have it back here, but I'm looking at Ty right now. I can see.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. It's hard to miss the red hair.
I did not
You're going to make it Vegemite.
Vegemite?
Have you tried it yet?
I have not tried Vegemite, no.
Only a veneer on bread, not spoonfuls.
Spoonfuls of Vegemite helps the medicine go down. All right, what's your question?
What are your hopes and fears for Generation 5?
I thought you were going to just leave it at, what are your hopes and fears? Thank you for asking. For Generation 5?
Yes.
My thought is there's like, so there was like a bunch of like, oh look, here's a bunch of concept art that was leaked, which is like, at this point it's been hard to avoid, but like, there's like some really extravagant designs that I feel like they probably wouldn't be animating that. Like, the only reason Generation 4 is as fluid as it is because the character designs are relatively simplistic, and I'm like, well, okay, if they do that, either they're gonna have to like cheat the animation a lot, or that it's gonna have like a crazy budget, which I kind of don't expect for them to do. I mean, maybe they could after how successful Generation 4 was, but like that's always a bad idea if it's a shot in the dark. My thought is like I'm just talking about art. I'll talk about also the fact that they might like just like completely ignore the family, like for the family presentation that Generation 4 had, and maybe accidentally step back into the Generation 3, oh, it's just the children, like thing, which is the exact opposite of what they should do, because the reason why the fandom got together is because we realized, oh, hey, we can enjoy this show, like even if it like for all intents and purposes should be just for little kids, it's like done in such a way that's so like entertaining for all audiences. That's like the biggest thing. I really hope they stick to that for Generation 5.
Yeah, as far as like a hope goes, I hope that they have learned from what has worked with the formula they've been using, and I also hope that they're maybe able to be like, well, maybe this is a way to improve. Sometimes higher ups see ways of improving things, which everyone else goes, what are you doing? So yeah, I mean, like my hope is that that, you know, not only is it, my hope is that it's good. My hope is that it's of quality, that they hold on to that idea of, hey, we're making this for the whole family, you know, all ages can enjoy it. I hope that, like, there's going to be some kind of new spin on everything, but I also hope, I guess you could put this in the fear, is like, I just don't want it to be something that's like so, like, I don't want it to be boring. Let it either be really good or really, really bad.
Trash.
Like I don't want, like, yeah. But my hope is that it'll be good, and that who knows? Like there's oh wow, look at that.
Thank you to Jarrod over
Some
here.
high quality H2O. Thank you. But yeah, my definite hope is that, again, that it's something that we're all going to be able to not only enjoy, but watch the fandom grow with it. Like, I want to see this fandom even get bigger. So, hopefully Gen 5 is like that firework that's going to light off. So, thank you.
Do you have another question from you over here?
Why is there so much swearing in Bronies, right? Because of Viva.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Viva is just loose cannon.
You know what? I
Fire team harmony.
I put myself up from swearing, and then I heard other people do it, and I'm like, is it okay? Should I? And then
Viva taught us every bad word we've ever learned. The swearing part of it, I'll be honest, it goes on both ends. On one side of it, I'm like, hey, what the heck, whatever. I'll put up a disclaimer and say, you know, this has bad language, kids. I always crack up when I have like a 5-year-old walk up and be like, I love Bronies React, and I'm like, good. Glad your kids or your parents are okay. But like I mean, the biggest thing is that it literally would add like half a week of editing for me to go through and bleep things out. And the problem is, if I would miss one, everyone's like, oh my gosh, that one slipped through. As opposed to I'm like, if I just put them all through, then it doesn't seem like I made a mistake. So yeah, it's just a formula of it. You know, we're adults. We're all adults, right? You're an adult. Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, she said the F word. Luckily she wasn't talking about it.
That's fine. Yeah, applause for that. Wow, F word, everybody. Okay, I'll be the only one to clap. But yeah, so yeah. And to me, it's also funny. I'm just like, oh, whatever. But yeah, what's your question?
Are you guys going to react to like the shorts of Equestria Girls and Spring Breakdown?
It's possible. It goes back to I haven't seen them. I've been waiting to watch them because there's a chance that we will.
What's funny is that when I was talking to Paleo at BronyCon, and I was just like, oh, there's a lot of Equestria Girl stuff I haven't seen, and he's just like, oh, I've got like this huge like spreadsheet of like all the Equestria Girl stuff, and it's long. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize they made so much. So.
I also like.
Some of them are good. Just heads up.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, that's the thing is that like I'm not surprised. I've seen one. It was the amusement park one, Roller Coaster of Friendship or something. I don't know, but and that one was weird. Like not like in a bad way, but there was a moment where I mean, for those that have seen it, there was a moment in it where I'm like, what just happened? And it had a very funny resolution where a door opened up and you're like, what? Okay. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's possible that we will hit that stuff up as well. Yeah. All right, thank you. Hello again.
Hi. So yesterday I asked who's best pony. Why is Rainbow Dash best pony?
Well, thing number one, I like her design a lot. The when you have like a cool like wavy bit of hair, it's like, okay, but it's just a wavy bit of hair. But with Rainbow Dash, it's like, you can see the waves in it. And that is such a stupid racism. I don't know. Yeah, I like her design a lot. I like the fact that the tomboyishness is especially contrasting with the fact that she like was like the complete
dressing in style
in Generation 3. Like the fact that the design team said, let's do this, and it works so well. Rainbow Dash is fun. Rainbow Dash is great.
Rainbow Dash was the character that I would attribute to getting me like locked into the show. The first episode I ever saw was Fall Weather Friends, and it was an episode where Rainbow Dash and Applejack are getting competitive with each other, and I knew nothing going into it. I didn't know anything about the characters, anything about the show. All I knew about My Little Pony was when I was a kid and commercials would come on for toys for My Little Pony, and that's why I was like, I don't even want to touch whatever this is that my wife was trying to feed me. I'm like, I don't want to watch this episode. She's like, just watch one. I won't bother you about it after that. Okay. So I watched the episode. I thought, okay, I mean that wasn't quite what I expected. It was better than I thought it would be, and I thought I was done. But then I was just kind of sitting on it. And I'm like, that Rainbow Dash character was not what I expected at all to see in this tomboyish, competitive pony. And I'm like, I love that. I'm like, this is cool. Actually, I do maybe I'll check out the premiere. And then I watched the entire first season in 3 days, and I was like, oh no.
I actually have a similar story, so the very first episode I watched was Sonic Rainbow, which was also a Rainbow Dash episode. But that didn't get me to start watching the show. I'm just like, okay, that was interesting. I don't know why it didn't click in my head, but way later when I'm like, let's check out the first episode. I might like this show. That's when it clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like this show. And then this was after the second season came out, so I binged the first and second season in a couple of days.
Yeah. So that's the answer of why Rainbow Dash is best pony. You can all take that one to the bank. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. This is just to tell you that SaberSpark says to say that Judy Hopps is overrated, and also that we should all be aware that AC is a low-key furry.
Ooh. First off, SaberSpark can go to hell.
I'll just pass that on.
Yeah, no, thank you for, god dang that individual. He's worse than Emily Larson sometimes, I'll tell you that.
No, he's just jelly folk.
Judy Hopps is not overrated. In fact, Odyssey Eurobeat drew me a commission of Judy Hopps. Yeah.
A commission.
Judy Hopps is my favorite character of all time. SaberSpark. And then what was the other thing? Oh, me being a low-key furry. Am I a furry? Can you all answer that for me?
Here right now, he's not.
Well, I'm just asking you. Do you think I'm a furry?
No.
No.
I mean, Judy Hopps, come on.
I know, right? No. See, now, for those of you who are shaking your head, do you know how many times that I've seen Zootopia in theaters? Paid tickets? 30. So I ask you again, am I furry? Yeah. Oh, wow, that changed things up. My gosh.
Own it.
No, I'm fine with whatever. I was going to actually make a video about what makes someone a furry, and then I did enough research to find out, the answer was there's no definition of what makes someone a furry, and I went, well, this video's going to end real quickly.
You say the same thing about, do you consider yourself a brony? Lots of people would just be like, oh, I don't consider myself a brony, but I do like the show.
See, and you know what I say to those people? I'm like, that's fine if you don't consider yourself a brony, but I do.
That's why everybody's calling you a furry.
Oh.
Own it.
Own it.
Own it.
So, yeah.
I do.
Thank you for passing on that information from ACRacebest. He wished that he could have been here, by the way, guys. Everyone say hi, SaberSpark.
Hi, Saber. Which camera should we look at?
None of them. I'm not putting this in the video. Hello.
Hello. Favorite villain from the season 9 quartet of villains?
Ooh.
Season 9 quartet. So that was.
I'm gonna say. So that's Cozy Glow, Tyrek, and Chrysalis, and I'm gonna say Cozy and Gorga. Whatever. I'm gonna say Cozy Glow. Because,
What about Sombra?
Sombra, he lasted long, didn't he? Both times. No, Cozy Glow was so, I don't know, she's so funny. Her dynamic with the other two is so good. I love that trio. I could have a show just with the three of them trying to wreak havoc, and I'd be happy. So, I'm going to say Cozy Glow.
I'm team Chrysalis. Chrysalis, I've always been my favorite villain. I love the season 2 finale. What's funny is that I hear people say oh, season 2 finale. No, I love the season 2 finale.
Who talks down on the season 2 finale?
I know that there's I don't know if
they're wrong.
Yes, I agree. I know there was a dissection video by Anthony C. and Tommy Oliver, I think.
Well, let them both know they're wrong.
Well, they are. I do agree. Season 2 finale is great.
Take that, Tommy.
Yeah. I don't think he's in the fandom anymore.
I don't care. I talk to him from time to time. Enough. Sometimes. Yeah. Once.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Hello.
Hey, this question is directed specifically at AC.
Oh.
I see on your channel that you do a lot of like banger racing and demolition derby stuff.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, how long have you been doing that for, and how many cars have you gone through in it?
Has anyone here seen the low budgets on my channel? Raise a hand. So a lot of you are kind of sitting there like, the heck's this? I have a series on my ACRacebest channel where I do demolition derbies, I do figure eight racing, I do dangerous things in cars. I should say stupid things in cars. That is dangerous. And we'll paint up the cars as characters from the show. I currently have a trailer race car that's Twilight Sparkle that's completely falling apart. Sorry, Twilight. And I painted up a whole bunch of characters. And when I say I mean Sarah, my wife, or Toodles. She's the one who paints these up, and it's so much fun to do them. I can't give you a count on how many cars I've destroyed, but it is up there. And the problem with us is that when we destroy cars, we try to find ways to fix them, and some of the cars we've tried to fix, like the Runt. I don't know if you remember the Runt. It was like the dumbest car. I think it was actually painted up as, I don't know. I don't even know if we painted it up, but some of these cars are just so goofy, the stories we have with them. And I'm straight up in demolition derbies. Spoiler alert, I've actually won some of demolition derbies. I've won a demolition derby in a Pinkie Pie car. It was all pink, it had balloons, it was during Equestria LA weekend. Saber Spark was in that demolition derby. He sucked. But he was driving a Fluttershy car, but I gave him credit because he did back out. But that's the thing, is you always are going to be terrible at your first demolition derby, or you get lucky. And he was gung-ho, he's like, let's do it. And I'm like, I'm proud of you. I was actually proud of Saber Spark. He finished last, but he destroyed his car, and that's all we asked, so. Thank you.
And the other part, how long have you been doing it for?
Oh, how long have I been doing it? 2011. Was right around the time I was getting it, and then the track that we were doing it at went down for a little bit. The management went bankrupt, and then someone else picked it up. And then so 2013 was when the low budgets really got kicking off, and that was, we've been doing it ever since. I don't do it as much actually nowadays, and that's not why there haven't been uploads. I'm just behind on that series, but because we're now the main announcers at the track, and so we're up there explaining to everyone what's going on. But we're still involved in it enough that we'll still have stuff coming out. So, all right, and then we have two more questions here that we'll make sure we get through, and then I'm going to ask. Now Tyson.
Tyson ran off.
Tyson ran off. All right.
Behind the thing for a second.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was gonna say. Anyways.
Considering I see a Pinkie Pie cosplay, I'm gonna do my Pinkie Pie voice while asking a few questions if you don't mind.
All right. What's your question?
Okay. Considering you have met so many bronies and some of them are YouTubers, what YouTuber you have never met before would you like to meet now?
Viva Reverie. Really? Yeah. Really, really cool individual.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I want to meet her.
Well, now I'll be mean if I don't say ACRacebest.
Nobody wants to be ACRacebest.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we talking YouTubers in general or just Bronies? If it's just Bronies, then I've met most of them already.
All the ones that you care to meet.
All the ones that What?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what just happened, but I love it.
Yeah, that was good.
Have a great day.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so this will be our last question, and then we're going to do something real quick.
Yes.
Hello.
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 How do you organize Bronies React?
Oh man. So it all starts with a dartboard. Alright. Put it up and have pictures of people on it. So what I'll do is I'll send out a format very close to an episode release. Give one to now I do see Tyson back there. But I can give one to Viva and all the people I want reacting in it. I'll go ahead and contact the people. And then I give them a couple weeks. I try to give everyone enough time so they're able to do it without it like really messing up anyone's schedules, because that's the last thing I want to do. And then it's a matter of getting the footage, editing the footage down. So I'll go through and chop out all the stuff, all the dead space or time codes and all that. And then I start piecing everything together. People hate the way I edit, actually, because I put everything in the timeline.
I said that's okay.
Okay, yeah, right here. Yeah.
Oh, it didn't smell.
That was a good catch. So yeah, and then it's a couple weeks worth and just a lot of editing and just sticking to it and finally getting it done. So yeah, it's a fun process though. I always get excited going through everyone's footage. They make me laugh, and that's why I love making Bronies reacts. So thank you for your question. Thank you, all of you, for your questions, by the way. Now,
Tyson's running off.
Some ran off.
Yeah, we're getting there. Okay.
Wait, getting it?
We're getting there.
What's the? Are we Tyson? Hey
what's
there.
up?
Now, did you want me to try something?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Mike. Can I grab a mic?
Yeah, grab a mic, please.
Is this one on?
It's on.
Okay.
This one here?
Yeah, right here. Join in.
Hello.
Hello.
I am not part of Bronies Reacts yet.
There we go.
So I said to Race, I thought it'd be cool. Obviously, Viva would have done this already. But Race being his first time in Australia, if we could have a Bronies react to Vegemite and sing.
Do you guys want a Bronies react to Vegemite? All right. I'm ready for this. Ready? Where's my Vegemite? Vegemite. I don't know. I think it's on the table.
Oh yeah.
It looks like fish bait.
Oh, is that what the bread is for?
You know the best part is we're all looking over there as if something's happening, but we're really just looking at faulty.
He just dropped his chair!
We have bread.
Where's Vegemite? Do we have a knife?
We have a knife. Yes, we got the trifecta.
Nice.
The ultimate villain of My Little Pony.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do this right now.
Because we have 3 minutes till 2.
Alright. What's this? What is this? Butter? Are you supposed to put butter on it too?
Yeah.
I'm digging in. Wholemeal. You calm down over there,
Now, Viva, do you actually like Vegemite? Yes. Okay, because I hate it.
Okay.
I think it's disgusting.
I enjoy it.
I'm really setting you up for this.
Oh my gosh, there's so many cameras out and it's raining. Is that a bad omen?
Here come the drop bears.
Here come. Alright, so what do I do? What's the proper way to do this? Do I butter?
You put it on a plate, which we don't have.
No.
So we're gonna.
Do I do a whole thing? Is this a proper amount of butter?
Yeah, that might be a bit
You
much.
tell me.
So go ahead.
I don't eat the stuff. I think it's nasty.
Alright,
I
help
said,
me out, please.
alright, well, split it across. Just get it on there. Yeah, don't rip the bread, hopefully.
I got this.
Alright.
I am a professional bread.
Now, the Vegemite part I do know. Now, the proper way you're meant to do it, apparently, is it's meant to be very, very thin layer.
Very thin layer.
Like,
Okay.
when you're scooping it in, you don't want too much. You will.
Alright, don't put too much? Okay.
Or you can do what all the Americans do and just take it.
I'm not an idiot. Alright, so this is the bit. I'm good to use this knife, right?
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Alright,
That's a
so.
lot. That's way too much.
Just give the jar a smell real quick.
You did this to yourself.
Good luck. No, you're ruined. Now you're gonna hate it. Vegemite is fine, I promise you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Throw it at him, not me.
This is a single serving, right?
Look.
Does this stuff have an aftertaste?
That's
Is that good? Did I do it right?
please, no more.
Alright, so is that the right amount, everybody? Alright, okay. Oh. Alright.
Look.
Ready? Everyone ready? Alright, here we go. What's in Vegemite? Let me ask that real
I
quick.
don't know.
Okay, you don't know.
The stuff that's scratched at the bottom of the barrel. It gets better. Welcome to Australia.
Oh, it's broke.
I know what you're having for breakfast tomorrow.
Thank you for coming to the Bronies.
We
my mouth. So we've got something slightly nicer. We've got
I don't want to put anything else in my mouth.
We've got Tim Tams.
Here, Viva, have some of this. Delicious.
It's not that bad. It's still layered like 5 different, like 5 layers of. You put way too much on.
So a while ago, they actually released a Vegemite flavored chocolate. So this is probably the closest thing you're going to get.
This is delicious, everyone. I have so much respect.
It's to be very thin.
So much respect for this country, though. Oh my gosh. It burns the throat. Oh, it's all of our mouth. Look at us. We're degenerates. Cheers to all of you. Good. Alright, so what are Tim Tams? Do I even trust you anymore?
That's good.
Tim Tams, everybody loves Tim Tams except for people who are allergic to Tim Tams. But it'll be fine. Probably. That was a bit.
This is my. Alright, I'm gonna try my first Tim Tam. You guys ready? That's nice.
Yeah! We got one.
Oh my god. Well, hi. Thank you for whatever whatever the heck that was. Oh man. Why do you guys eat this though?
Look,
like vitamins for vitality.
Actually though, if it's this thin layer, it's fine. That is
fine. I don't put things in my mouth that's fine. I put things in my mouth that are good. Made in Australia from at least 95% Australian ingredients. Let's see. Ingredients: yeast extract, kangaroo.
Do you need some water?
Yes, please. Nicole, please. Oh. Have you had this bed for myself? I'm not going to ask you to try it. Don't do it.
It's fine.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Everybody is. This is slander. This is slander.
You have Vegemite all over your face.
I'm sorry. I need a mirror and a tissue, maybe 3.
So we have gone like way over on this panel. I don't know. Before I
it's only 3 minutes.
Before I put any more Vegemite in my mouth, I want to thank you all again for coming out to the Bronies. Thank you, Nicole. Say thank you when you're.
Thanks, Mom.
Did you all have fun at the Bronies Direct panel? Yeah. Thank you again. Make some noise for yourself again. Oh yeah. Thank you. All right.
Oh my god.
Oh man. I promise.
Yeah. Now, what do we feel about 220